to the International Healthcare System Analysis with Joy and Jane. Today, we will be learning about the fantastic country of Indonesia.
So, Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world. It has 254 million citizens. It is an archipelago, which means that we have 80% water, unlike the United States, which is all land. And speaking about geographically, we have 5 main islands, and probably one of the smallest main islands is Java, which has 50% or more of the Indonesian citizens inside there. Jakarta is the capital city of Indonesia and is located in Java, and so all the economic activity happen in Java. Due to the bodies of water between the islands, wealth and knowledge of the country is heavily condensed in Java, which creates disparity in the development of Indonesia, which includes healthcare. Indonesia is also a tropical country with only 2 seasons, dry and rainy season. Unlike America, the middle class is growing, and by 2030 it is predicted that Indonesia will have the 7th largest economy in the world. However, there is still a large income gap. The governors of Indonesia is administratively divided into provinces and districts, so it's pretty much decentralized. Unlike America, Indonesia have a growing middle class, and by 2030 it's going to be the 7th largest economy in the world. But there's the income gap problem.
Life expectancy for males in Indonesia is 69 years and 72 years for women. This has been declining over the years anyway. The infant mortality rate dropped from 6.8% in 1990 to 2.5% in 2014. There are 6 beds and 2 physicians per every 10,000 people in Indonesia. That's not a lot. Health issues in Indonesia are malaria, tuberculosis, air pollution, sanitation problems, tobacco usage. 0.3% of Indonesia's GDP is spent on healthcare expenditure. 1.1% is spent on private expenditure, and 1.2% is spent on public expenditure. Before 2014, each province had their own healthcare policy. Some paid out of pocket, while others had insurance.
In 1945, Indonesia gained its independence from the Dutch. The amendment in 1945 states that the country will develop a social security system for every citizen to help the weak and poor with social services. So, different provinces have different health care. The Jamkesmas program, although is utilized by people, has 2 main problems. Number 1, it has a low coverage rate. Only 33% of target are reached. And second, there's high levels of leakages. Only 47% of Jamkesmas cardholders are actually the poor or the near poor. Thus, in 2014, the government created a new mandatory healthcare system, the JKN program, under the BPJS Kesehatan program. So what is the BPJS and JKN system? BPJS is Badan Penyelenggara Jaminan Sosial Kesehatan, which is the new nationwide social security program. And under that, we have the Jaminan Kesehatan Nasional, the JKN, which is the healthcare program under the BPJS.
There are 2 kinds of BPJS, or as Jane likes to call it, BPJS. The first is similar to Medicaid, but called PBI, and it's essentially free healthcare, which rocks for those people who need free healthcare. It's only given out to the poor, and yeah, that's all I have to say about it. The second type of BPJS, or BPJS, is split into 2 sections, either the employee or just the individual. For the employee, the government employee, 5% of their paycheck is paid to the BPJS system, with 3% being paid by the government themselves and 2% being paid by the employee. Whereas for the individual who's just employed in the private sector, 4% is paid by the employer and only 0.5% is paid by the employee. For those who are either self-employed or unemployed, there are 3 separate classes that you can be a part of under the BPJS system. First class costs $4.60 a month per person, second class costs $3.30 a month per person, and third class costs $2 a month per person. For those in first class, obviously they get better treatment, and those in third class receive the worst care. Who has to be enrolled in the BPJS system? Everyone! Expats who have been living in Indonesia for 6 months or all Indonesian citizens must be enrolled.
So my mom commented on this. Number one, she said there's a problem with enforcement. She's not even on the plan because she has a private insurance for my dad. And because there's no penalty, she said, why should I even join it? Number two, the system is socialist. Essentially, the rich is paying for the poor because the rich don't want to be in line waiting for so long with the poor. So they have to like do with this, and they all already have like the private insurance. So it's just bad. And then there's the moral hazard problem. Some of my mom's friends said that they will continue to smoke because now they have the free healthcare from the government under the BPJS. So it's just bad. But my mom said the president has a rationale for doing this. Even though it's bad for the rich to subsidize the poor in the short run, and it's annoying, in the long run, everybody would be well off because everybody will be healthier and have a decent life. So, in the long run, probably it's good for everyone.